Everyone, it's day 6 of our reading through our 2-week journey to read Jesus's life and teachings. Tonight we are stepping into one of the most loved chapters in the whole Bible, Luke chapter 5. It is really 3 short stories that Jesus told back to back, and they all circle the same idea. Something valuable gets lost, someone goes looking for it, and when it's found, there's a party. Before we open and get into the text, I want you to think through a simple question. Have you ever lost something that really mattered to you? It might be your phone or a pet or a friendship. I want you to hold on to that feeling because that's exactly the emotion that Jesus is about to tap into. So every story has a setting, and this one matters a lot. Luke tells us that tax collectors and sinners, the people that respectable society has kind of written off, were crowding in close to hear Jesus. Meanwhile, the religious leaders stood back and kind of grumbled, like, this man welcomes sinners and eats with them. In that culture, sharing a meal meant acceptance. So their complaint was really an accusation. Everything Jesus says next is his answer to that grumbling. He does not argue theology with them. He just tells stories. I want you to see that these stories that are called parables, these 3 parables are a reply to people who were offended that God would get close to the wrong kind of people. So before we take the stories one at a time, I want you to notice this pattern because it's key to the whole chapter. In all 3, something goes missing: a sheep, a coin, and a son. In all 3, that loss is taken seriously, and there is a search or a longing for that lost item. And in all 3, when what was lost is recovered, the response is celebration. Lost, searched for, found, celebrated. Once you catch that rhythm, you will catch the point that Jesus is driving home. God is not indifferent to lost people. He actively wants them back, and their return brings him joy. So here's the first story. A shepherd has 100 sheep and loses one. 99 out of 100 is a great success rate. Most of us would shrug and count our blessings. But this shepherd leaves the 99 and goes after the one until he finds it. Notice the word until. He does not give up, guys. And when he finds it, he does not scold it. He lifts it onto his shoulders and carries it home and throws a celebration. Now, I want you to ask yourself, what does it tell us about God that he would go to so much trouble for just that one? Let's unpack what Jesus is teaching. First, God pursues. The shepherd goes out searching rather than sitting and waiting for the sheep to find its way home. Second, every single one matters. The 99 are safe, but the one is not written off. And third, this is the punchline. Jesus adds that there's more joy in heaven over one sinner who repents than over the 99 who think they did not need to. So let that land. Your coming home, your turning and repenting actually makes heaven celebrate. So the second story shifts the scene from a hillside to a house. A woman has 10 silver coins and loses one. These coins may have been part of her savings or even maybe a treasured wedding piece, but it's no small loss. She lights a lamp and sweeps the whole house and searches carefully until she finds it. The same word, until. Just like the shepherd, the moment she finds the lost coin, she calls her friends together to celebrate. The same pattern. The new picture, though. This time the searcher is a woman, and the lost thing could not wander off. It was simply lost in the dark, waiting to be found. So why tell the same story twice? Because the details really add something. The woman searches diligently, lighting a lamp, sweeping every corner, which she shows how deliberate God's search really is. The coin also cannot find its way back on its own. It just lies there, valuable but helpless. That's a picture of people who feel stuck or worthless. God still counts them as treasure, and once more, Jesus lands on joy. There is rejoicing among the angels of God over one sinner who repents. Now, the most famous of the 3, and Jesus saves the most powerful for last. A younger son asks for his inheritance early, which is basically like saying, Dad, I wish you were dead. He takes the money and he blows it all in wild living, and he ends up broke and starving. When he finally comes to his senses, he heads home and rehearses this apology and hopes to be hired as a helper. But here is the turn. While he's still a long way off, his father sees him and runs to him. Now, most of the time back then, dignified men did not run, but he throws his arm around him and throws a feast. This son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. Most people stop at the happy reunion, but Jesus keeps going. And this second half is aimed right at the grumbling religious leaders from the start of the chapter. The older brother stayed home and did everything right, and he's furious that his reckless brother gets a party. He will not even go inside. The father goes out to him too, pleading just as tenderly. Now, here's your challenge. It is possible to be near the Father your whole life and still miss his heart. Both the runaway and the rule keeper needed grace. The parable ends open on purpose. Will the older brother come in? Jesus leaves that question hanging for the Pharisees and for us. All right, let's pull the three stories together and ask this big question. What do they tell us about God? He seeks the lost. He takes the initiative. He values each person. No one is a rounding error to him. He welcomes the returning. Repentance is met with open arms, not a lecture, and he celebrates recovery. Every homecoming throws heaven a party. Now, I want you to walk away with this one picture of God tonight, that God is not reluctant to have you talk to him, but God is already out looking for you. As we close, I want to make it really personal. God is not distant. He goes looking for the lost, and that includes every one of you. Your worth does not depend on never wandering. The coin and the sheep were valuable even when lost. There is always a way home, and repentance is met with joy, not shame. And like the father, unlike the older brother, we are invited to celebrate grace instead of resenting it. So I want you to think about the reference that we read tonight in Luke. He says, for the Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost. You might think about each of you. You might be the wanderer. You might be the older brother or the one being searched for. And I want you to just take a quiet moment to think about that and how much he loves us and celebrates when we're found. All right, that's all for tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.